Welcome to JoyNews Interactive here on the JoyNews channel with me, Mapita CBD. You know how to join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're JoyNews on TV. I have exciting stuff coming up after this. Chale, are you on the poverty line, above the line, or below the line? Well, the Ghana Statistical Services, if you earn below 792 Ghana cedis a month, then you are poor. Chale, how poor are you? Now, for those who rely on only national service allowance, without any support from anyone, you fall below the poverty line. I did not say it. The Ghana Statistical Service says you are poor. But now, my concern is, how are you managing your life? For example, for those with families earning 800 cedis a month without any help, how do you survive? What items are on your monthly budget? How much do you spend on food, water, electricity, airtime, bundle, health, clothing, transport? Now, share with us how you've been coping. We posted that on our Facebook page, and we're having two people who will be joining us via Zoom. But let's go to Facebook and see what you have been saying. Because, I mean, this amount is very, people spend this sometimes in a day. But this is the question we asked you, and we asked for your thoughts. So, are you below, above, in between, on top, or next to? All right, so let's go to Addison Bugatti, who says 790 Ghana cedis. Hey! What are they talking about? Won't they even say 400 rather than 700? It's too much. Do you know the kind of qualification you have to have before the salary? Okay. At Yendok, Baba YB says, why is everybody pointing at NAPCO? Those in afforestation and even NSS are all inclusive. Sunny says, then Ghana is highly impoverished. Okay. Upon Clement says, people are even earning 5,000 Ghana cedis and are still poor. So if this is the standard, then Ghana has over 70% people who are poor. Tijani says, yet the government of Ghana is paying NSS personnel 560. So the NSS is an allowance, and that's what they think that NSS personnel will be able to survive on that. But Richard Watson says, don't believe it. Those earning 2,000 Ghana cedis are living below the poverty line. 2,000 Ghana cedis can't even get you basic things like food, healthcare, water, clothing, rent for 2 weeks in this modern Ghana. I have to agree with that one. Like, I mean, it's so expensive, especially when you're living in Accra. And also on Monday, we spoke about accommodation. So imagine you're earning this amount and then you have to pay a year or 2 years in advance. Where do you get that money? Which boils down to the fact that, laws need to be changed. But let's continue on Facebook and see what you have been saying. Hakim Yudin says, wow, then almost every Ghanaian lives below the poverty line, because even some public sector workers, like some teachers and some nurses, earn less than this figure. At Erickson says, you should just say that the cost of living is extremely high in Ghana. Yes, it is. Alex Calvin says many SHS graduates who couldn't make it to the universities due to lack of money, and they are now working in some companies and stores. Salaries varies from 250 Ghana cedis to 400 maximum a month. So if they don't want any disgrace, they should bring it down to 250 Ghana cedis. Salma Anaba says that they should make it 1,000 cedis and force employers to pay that. From Original Abdul says, then they should ask government to increase the minimum wage amount above the poverty line wage. And Walano Gati says, then NAPCO should be increased marginally with immediate effect. Erickson once again says 70% of Ghanaians are below the poverty line. Khalifa Ibrahim says that more than half of the country's population is living below it. At King Bobo says, then as for me, I'm not living below the poverty line. If I look at how far below I am from the poverty line, I think I've been buried under the line. Okay, all right. Ibrahim Mohammed says, living in poverty line means what? Chale, we they hungry or? And McRaw says, I think you should ask Nanado because he's paying NAPCO and NSS less than expected, not ask why. Okay, well, if you don't want to respond, you don't have to. All right, so where does this leave the youth? What do they have to do? Joining me is Echo, one of our fantastic viewers, and he's going to tell me his experience. Echo, good morning. Do you have Echo on the line? Echo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So they say that 769, right? That's 92, I beg your pardon, 792. That's the minimum. If you are below it, then you are living in poverty. So tell us your experience. I won't ask you how much you earn, but what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, I think I'm already poor. if I should say it, according to Ghana Statistical Service, they are saying 792 is the poverty threshold. But we have to know what the poverty threshold is. Let's say poverty threshold is the minimum level of income deemed adequate in a particular country.
Yeah.
You get it. Let's say poverty line is usually calculated by finding the total cost of all essential resources that an average human consumes within a specific year.
Yeah.
So if an amount as an income, then when you calculate your essential resources and it is not adequate to it, then you fall below the poverty line.
Okay, so Echo, tell me how poor are you? Are you like, let's look at it. You don't have to give me figures, but when we're looking at the poverty line, how far are you?
Oh, I think when it comes to Ghana, poverty also is related to where you reside. If you're in Accra and you earn 792, you're extremely poor.
Yeah.
If you live anywhere, let's say anywhere in the rural areas, you are a bit okay. But compared to Accra, you have to pay accommodation, your fares are there. Then the minimum or inexpensive restaurant you can ever get in Accra is, let's say the less food you can consume is 15 cedis.
Yeah.
So assuming you are eating 15 cedis and you go with nutritionists like 3 square meals a day, you consume almost 45 cedis in a day.
Yeah.
Calculate that at the end of the month. How much are you earning in Accra? So absolutely we are all poor.
Okay, so now let's drop a quick budget, okay? We are earning 792. On an average, every month, what are some of the things that you prioritize so that you can spread your money evenly?
That's when you want to be very economical. You have to walk to work if you have a very short distance to your work.
But now I want us to personalize it and talk about Richard Echo Baidu. So what does Richard Echo Baidu do?
Okay, anyway, I have, my work is a bit close to where I stay. I'm a student in University of Ghana Computer Science Department, and I work with Coparts, a car washing company. So what I do is that from Legon to East Legon is not far. So anytime I wake up early, I'll use it as a joke and get to work on time just to save the amount I'll spend on lorry fare. Then when it comes to food aspect, food is inevitable. You can't stay there, you won't eat. Definitely you have to go. And look at where I work. East Legon is quite expensive place in Accra.
Yeah.
So there's no way we are going to get food that is below 15 cedis. So averagely, you are going to spend 20 cedis and above if you want to eat well in East Legon. So maybe I have to go with 2 square meals a day just to save my income.
Okay. Okay, so now we're dividing 792 by 30, okay? 30 days in a month. We are getting 26 Ghana cedis. So that means you have 26 Ghana cedis to spend a day. Not forgetting accommodation that you have to pay within a year. So tell us, how do we manage that 26 Ghana cedis? I want you to personalize this. Let's not talk about the general population. Let's talk about Echo. So how does he manage the 26 Ghana cedis a day?
26 Ghana cedis a day.
And do you think it's even possible to manage 26 Ghana cedis a day?
Absolutely, it is not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Assuming I'm taking a vehicle to my residence every day. Now, Uber will cost me like 15 cedis.
Yeah.
Food aspect is not in. I've not bought data. I've not bought credit. So how am I going to manage this amount?
But Echo, you say you are below the poverty line, but you are talking about Uber. Masa, we are being economical about this.
That's what shows I'm poor. That's what shows I'm poor.
Wait. We're talking about Trotro.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so
No,
take Trotro. Why are you talking about Uber? Why are you thinking about Uber?
No, let me tell you this.
Tell me.
From where I stay and where I come to work, there's no Trotro services. You can't get Trotro from Legon to East Legon.
Hey, Echo!
Or the taxi, which the taxi is even costly than the Uber services. You know that. So I'm poor. You have to understand.
Hey, Echo. Hey, Charlie. Okay. So now let's talk about in terms of accommodation. When we have to pay for a year, I think you can afford it? Like, what is your situation in terms of accommodation?
No, for accommodation aspects, if you rely on on your salary to pay accommodation, then you are not going to make it, because if a landlord is taking, let's say, 150 a month,
yeah,
deduct that 150 from the 792, how much are you going to get? So you have to hustle around to make your accommodation to fixed before even you come to talk about the 792. But if you put the accommodation aspect in the 792, my sister, you're not making anything at the end of the month.
All right. Now, so what about your friends? Where do you think this will lead us? Because we're having a conversation on Monday with some of the young people about, you know, the rent 1 year in advance. As your friends, when you guys are discussing, like, how do you think this affects you? Do you guys lean into corruption? Do you guys lean into crime? You know, we've seen a lot of 419 happening. So where does this lead you? As when you're talking with your friends, where do you think this leads you?
What you are talking about is quite true. You know, if you are earning this amount and you are not, let's say, on the line of, let's say, standard of living, you are not with the standard of living, you have a lot of thinking in your mind. How or what do I do to stay within the line? What do I do to be able to patronize accommodation, to patronize the good thing people are having? So if you don't take care, you indulge yourself in a whole lot of things that at the end of the day, you even get yourself arrested. You know, that's why a lot of people are investing their time in scamming and other stuff, thinking that they will earn something bigger than what they earn from workplaces. You know, if you stay at home and scam someone, within a month you are able to get, let's say, $6,000, and you are working with someone, assuming you carry loads and a whole lot, you are using your strength and health to do a whole lot of this. And at the end, someone is paying you 792. And when you stay home and relax and buy some credit and scam someone, you get $6,000. Which of these businesses will you patronize?
All right. Thank you so much, Richard Echo Baidu. Now let's move on to Alison. Alison, good morning.
Good morning. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. Now, how far below are you or above in terms of the poverty line?
Okay, so I'm slightly below the poverty line.
Okay.
I would say I am around 600.
Okay.
Yes.
And now, how have you been surviving? And like, let's give me a budget. If we were to draw up a budget for the 600 for a monthly budget, run me down that.
Okay, so well, my monthly budget. You mean in expenses?
In expenses, yeah. So food, transport.
Okay, so food, transport, electricity, water, gas, that would take about 500.
Which means that you're left with 100 cedis.
Yes, barely 100 cedis because I said 600 without tax. So when tax is removed, that is about 500 and something. But then when you remove all the utility bills and you remove the transportation, I'm down to, let's say, up to around 500 and 550. So let's just say I barely have enough to save up.
Yeah, but you
monthly.
know, President Akufo-Addo, because of the COVID, is paying for our water, so free water. So that takes away from your expenses. Yes,
that has brought it down considerably. But then, depending on the kind of household you have, I'm not living alone. I'm living with my mom, my grandma, my sister, and my nephews, and we use a lot of water. You know, if you're using a washing machine, for instance, no matter what kind of, like, however you use the water, it depends. Yeah, it doesn't always help you, even if he has subsidized the fees.
Okay, so we appreciate your time because you're using, Zoom, which means that you're using data. Averagely, every month, how much do you spend on data?
I barely use data that much because I'm always working.
Okay.
And if I'm not working, I'm sleeping.
Okay.
So let's say I use about 100 CDs worth of data every month.
Okay. So 100 CDs worth of data every month. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the 600. So that means if we're looking at it like this, so 600, 500 we've used it for rent. We've used it for transport, for electricity, for food,
Water,
for clothing, and all of that. And then the other 100 CDs is for data, which means that at the end of the month, you literally you're living like hand to mouth, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much, Alison, for your contributions. Thank you so much. All right. So guys, where do you stand? Above, below, in between, next to the poverty line? Me dear, if I tell you right now, it will shock you. Well, from here, let's move on to Martin Amedu, because the resigned special prosecutor has been trending since Monday. And this is because the presidency replied his letter of resignation, and that has put his issue back on the social media trends. Let's see what the presidency statement says right on your screen. So, Your Excellency was acting, so this is, okay, Your Excellency was acting as judge in your own cause, usurping my functions to take any independent follow-up actions on the anti-corruption assessment report. So this is an excerpt from Martin Amedu's letter. And President Akufo-Addo obviously responds to him and says, your accusation of interference is perplexing. That is what the president is saying. He says your accusation of interference is perplexing. And he says your claim of there being a belief that you dared to write the Ajapo report cannot be correct. President Nana Akufo-Addo Dankwa. So we have been asking you to describe Martin Amedu with just one word, and let's check out your comments. All right, so these are just various comments. I will get to the one-word answers, but at Theodore says, a man who would not allow himself be used as a puppet by so-called big people, no, watch them steal from Ghanaians. Is this the third force we've been looking for in our political space? I think I'll vote for independent candidate, hashtag Martin Amedu. But we ask you to describe Martin Amedu in one word. And at Canto Monte Cristo says, Fiero. Okay. Is that what you're saying? Okay. At Joe Gator says, unpredictable. This one is from Mibito, who says, knowledgeable. Okay, that's nice. At Champions LFC says, confused. And this one is from at hashtag Asunambe, says he's just and disciplined. All right, and Nanafa says, okay. And Kwame Rudo says, incorruptible. At Owusu says, Fiero. Hello, hard guy. Okay. Mr. Level says, disappointing. And we have that one says, daring. Now, let's move on to your general comments, because there's this one comment that's been trending, right? So they say that, boss, they asked you to write the name of the talkatives. You have gone to write the headmaster. Why? See, people are saying that Martin Amedu is probably that guy, when you're in class, he'll be like, ma'am, you forgot to take in the homework. Like, boss, why are you doing that to us? But at Bridget_O2 says, touch not my anointed corrupt officials and do my corrupt deals no harm. At Barnabas Nilai says, Martin Amedu, he returned all special allowances paid him for sitting in board meetings with a justification that he sat in those meetings in his office and during working hours, so he cannot collect money for it. He also returned a check paid him by the audit service for honoring the invites to speak at an event. Charlie, this anti-corruption work no easy. Hey, the way some of us use per diem to balance monthly expenses. All right, let's see if we can get more comments. Boacha says, hashtag Martin Amedu. So he's the class prefect. So my class members are making too much noise, so I can't learn. Headmaster being President Akufo-Addo says, oh, okay then, write those making names down and bring them to me. Martin Amedu, as the class prefect, says, sir, you're making a noise, so I've written your name. Hey, like how? Now, people have been saying that they're tired of the NDC and the NPP. Them tired, or people keep screaming that they are both corrupt and so on and so forth. The alternative is blah, blah, blah. They want another force. So we thought the smaller parties would take advantage of the national mood and shock the parties, just like Mr. Evergreen Street stated, and give the two big parties a run for their money. Now, we went there to gauge their visibility, and here's what we came with.
NDC party.
The party your friend is saying?
NDC party.
Okay.
NDC.
Okay. And PNC for candidates, you are by president, some of your friend is saying?
Oh, no, if you don't come. Anna, oh, no, if you don't come.
GCPP, almost some candidates, your mind. You are by president, some more.
Oh, moment there. Check here.
So what's the name of the Kadon Cost Party?
Pukuya Messi. Pukuya Messi. Pukuya Messi.
Okay. Who is the candidate for PNC? PNC. People's National Convention. Who is the candidate? Flag bearer.
Isaac Buampo.
Who is the candidate for GCPP? Consolidated People's Popular Party. Who is the candidate?
John Dramani Mahama.
Alright. Okay, who is the candidate for PNC?
PNC, no, that one I have no idea.
Okay, what's the name of the Donkos Party?
Is it Donkos Party? Is it? I've forgotten.
Oh,
is it?
JCPP, Great Consolidated People Popular Party, one candidate. And a PNC, PNC. Soon you make your don't call.
I mean, I cannot go.
One the party
PNC.
PNC, one make a candidate.
Some I am in him.
GCPP.
GCPP. Ah, okay.
GCPP, one candidate.
Hey. Paco Airway. Saba Power Cry. Christian. Then. Christian Visa. I can't call party. Some.
Okay, sir. Can you please tell us the name of Ekwadonkos Party?
Ekwadonkos Party? No, I have no idea.
Okay, who is the candidate for PNC? People's National Convention.
PNC? I have no idea.
Okay, who is the candidate for GCPP? Great Consolidated Popular.
That's domestication. Danlati.
All right, thank you.
Habet Nati.
Okay, please, who is the candidate for PNC? People's National Convention.
Is it not a great uncle?
Okay, who is the candidate for GCPP?
Danlati.
Okay, what's the name of Ekwadonkos Party?
In fact, it escaped me.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Facebook and see what you had to say. Share your thoughts. Do you think the minor political parties have a chance of causing major shock in this year's election? At Kwesi Mensa, Gabriel says, wasting their money. At Sigel Yakubu says, even if the CPP CRA brings Dr. Kwame Nkrumah as a presidential candidate, it will lose this and even future elections. Isaac says, unless all the minor parties become one party. And Samuel says, not at this critical moment where people are waiting patiently to liberate themselves. Lazarus says they are minor, therefore they can't cause any major shock in this 2020 Ghana election. And Felix says, electric shock or what? Yes, boss, we say electric shock. And Asante is asking us, whoever posted this hasn't eaten jollof. Okay, minor political parties. Good morning, Aiko. You've heard the people. You must shock us and put pepper in our eyes. December. Hey, wow. The pepper has entered my mouth. Please, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Mapito CBD.